All right, so now that we have transferred our image onto our screen and it's dried out, we're going to tape it off to make sure that no unwanted ink gets outside of our design and onto our shirt. Okay. So we'll start with the print side of the screen here, and what we're trying to do is make sure that we close off the gap where the emulsion ends, the pink area, and where the wood begins. All right, so we're going to take our tape here. All right, this is a special ink and water resistant tape, okay, so that even if it's wet it's not going to peel off and it's not going to let anything get through. It's very plastic type tape. Okay, so we're just going to peel it up here. Alright, and so you're just going to roughly measure out about how much you need there. Alright, and we're just going to place it down on the table lightly. And we're going to trim it. Alright, we're going to place it on here. Now again, you want to make sure that the tape touches at least some of the pink and at least some of the wood here and closes off the gap. Alright, so do that just like that. Okay, it's going to sit nice and flat. Alright, and we're going to repeat the process for the other side. Now, depending upon the size of the gap, to conserve tape, you might be able to cut a piece down the middle and close off a small gap. If for some reason you have a really large gap, you may need to actually do 2 pieces of tape. All right, but 1 usually suffices most of the time. All right, and there's our last side. If you have a lot of loose fabric here as well, it may not be a bad idea to take just a scrap of tape and just to hold it down a little bit. Even masking tape is fine, or you can use a very small piece of this. So now we're going to do the inside corner, the inside part of the frame. Really important here that we make a nice tight corner seal. We want to make sure, again, no ink can get under there. All right, so we're going to demonstrate that now. Again, we're going to roughly measure out how much tape we need and cut it. Now there's a little bit of technique to this. We want to make sure that I try to lay the tape down nice and flat and straight along the fabric edge first, and don't let it touch the wood if at all possible here. All right, so I've placed it down. Again, notice it's not touching the wood quite yet. And then starting from one edge, I'm going to work it towards the wood and just kind of run my finger along the edge. All right, we want a really nice tight corner. We don't want an elevated piece of tape there because it'll rip. All right, and there we go. It's very important that the piece that's sitting down here is very flat. Okay, we're going to run our squeegee along this, and if we have bumps in it, the squeegee is going to bump, and that's going to give us a bad inking when we put it on our shirt or on paper. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that process for the other sides. If you find some small rips in the tape and stuff like that, again, you can just use some scrap pieces to seal it off.